comes to mind when you hear the word police brutality, especially in Nigeria? Citizen victimization? Injustice? What then do you call a scenario where the personnel is the victim? While you go over that, here's a big welcome to Movie Time on Vantage TV with your one and only Pepe Rempe, R to the A to the N to the A to the T, Ramat. Today on the watch list, I will be taking on the movie Collision Course. So sit back because this is gonna be fun. While you do that, get a cup of juice because I'm here with mine. First, let's check out a snippet of the film Collision Course.
Some days break with no sunrise, and they fade away without a sunset.
We will just waste you for a year and nothing will happen. Hear me?
This is one of those days.
This your music thing is not working out so well for you, is it?
It is what I want to do.
When you go better, tell me. No be 10 years we don't dey for this place. Things no dey good, it's just the worse they go.
Ask my boys with the now one thing they keep us strong. Trust. You see us. We get many secrets where we will keep for this yacht.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Look at you. You're planning to get married. What do you hope to feed your family with? With this thing on your head?
Me and you are the same person. Now just this system, the focus on this system is impoverishing us.
Call the police.
Who the fuck is this guy? What do you mean? Come, give me my money. I'm going to... I will shoot you. I'm not doing it.
Take your soul. Come on.
So don't fight me. Let us fight the system. Let us seek to change the system. That's what we need to do.
Inspired by the EndSARS protests of October 2020, the Collision Course follows the story of a frustrated police officer who tries to make ends meet by soliciting bribes. However, an intense encounter with an upcoming artist from a wealthy family changes everything. Exactly how? Well, we'll get to that soon. If this is your first time here, do me a favor and subscribe to this channel. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for sticking around. You guys are the real MVPs. Let's get right into it, starting with the cast and performance. The casting director did a great job casting the right stars to bring the characters in this film to life. Pairing the actors to each role was done perfectly. The movie features A-listers like Daniel Etim Effiong, Bimbo Manuel, Bamike aka Bam Bam, Kelechi Udegbe, Kenneth Okoli, Gregory Ojefua, and a host of others. So I'm just going to talk about the main characters and their performance, starting with Mide's performance. Mide was played by Daniel Etim Effiong. Yeah. And we all know that Daniel Etim is a great actor. For someone who is about to be kidnapped at gunpoint, I was expecting more. You get? And also for someone who went through torture and beating in the hands of kidnappers, his expression was so unreal. And again, the one that blew me up was when they threw him out of the car in the middle of the road. He wanted to stand up. How? That is not possible. I know, yeah, it's not a moving car. That might be the excuse, but for someone who went through torture and so much pain and brutality in the hands of kidnappers, the real thing is just to act dead at that point. Like, you can't move your hands. You won't be able to move your body. So for me, that was not just authentic at all. So I wasn't feeling the authenticity in his expression. I felt he wasn't confident in his character, if you ask me. Then we move on to Kelechi. Kelechi's performance as Magnus, who is a police officer in the movie, was brilliant. I didn't expect less from him, though, going by this track record of a similar role as Officer Titus in a drama series. Kelechi's Udebe character showed us the other side of police officers that we don't see often. No one, though, if you ask me, no one would have been a better character for the role. Not even when there was the rumor that Femi Branch, who was alleged to have been casted for the role in the initial plan. So I think for this, the casting director did a great job casting Kelechi for the role, Magnus. Then we talk about, take a look at Chioma. That's Chioma Chukwuka. Yeah, Chioma Chukwuka Akpota also is one of the A-listers in the movie. Her performance was good. We all know that Chioma is a veteran and a great actress at that. And then we look at Gregory's performance. That's one of the Ogas in the police force, one of the TAS, the Ogas and task force rather. That's the special crime unit in the police force. His performance was good as well. You know, same act, the bad cop was so cool to watch. I've seen in movies, couple of movies where he acts dumb, confused guy, either landlord or some confused nerd like that. But seeing him act a bad cop in the movie was great. And they're talking about my baby girl Bam Bam. Bam Bam did a great job as well. It's nice to see her evolve into an amazing actress. Next is the story/plot. The movie, which was produced and directed by Bolanle Austin Peters, oh yes, the CEO of Teleculture herself, started off with Mide, a young musician, struggling to make a name for himself in the music industry, while also trying to prove to his father that he can make it without his law degree and still raise a family of his own without depending on his wealth. So one night, sorry guys, this is a spoiler, but I'll try as much as not to give much spoilers. Yeah. One night, Mida was driving when some officers from TAS, that's a special crime unit in the police, attacked and kidnapped him. They took him with some other guys to an unknown place like that where he was tortured and brutalized. Eventually, he survived the near-death experience, but that left him traumatized. He tried to carry on with his life few weeks later, but it seems that he can't escape the danger of corrupt officers like Magnus, which was played by Kelechi, of course, a struggling police officer who aspires to join the task force in order to, upgrade his standard of living, feed his family, and maybe, hopefully, move them out of the trench they currently live in. So, in summary, the movie kind of followed these two characters on several days in their lives, as we watch Nigeria happen to them repeatedly, how they navigate Nigeria, navigate life, and until an unfortunate event forces the two of them to collide. Was it a nice story? Yes! Beautiful and relatable, so much that it follows the elements of a true life event. For those who witnessed the EndSARS protest in 2020, you understand what I'm talking about. It's also beautiful to see how storytellers, movie producers, and directors embrace the aspect of this social injustice as a theme and make something exceptional out of it. That for me was... But then, was the story properly executed? No! No! There are lapses in the execution of the story. For example, the car chase at the beginning of the movie, for me, was weak. It would have been an interesting opening scene if you ask me, if it had a 007 kind of action. You know what I'm talking about? We've seen Hollywood movies, car chase in Hollywood movies like Mission Impossible. We see how interesting, especially Fast and Furious, of course, we see how interesting it is to watch the scenes. And I was expecting something like that. And also, come on now, I can't be chased by kidnappers and allow them to catch me easily. Like that. Without putting up a fight or even try and escape. Even if eventually, eventually they'll catch me. Or at least, I'll give them a run for their chase. Come on, I will show them street now. I will make sure say I run them street. So for me, that scene wasn't fleshed out properly. And then the transition from the kidnapping scene to the 3 weeks after, for me, it felt loose. If you ask me, I feel a lot could be done in between the scenes. What do I mean by this? Like, give us a backstory of what led to the chase. Or probably a story that establishes him as a musician. Or what growing up was like for him, at the least. That would have made much sense. For me, that scene between the transition scene to the 3 weeks after, for me was just was a huge gap. A lot could have been done. Yeah. Also, please, what was the reason for him visiting his father? Don't tell me it's just to argue over his choice of career. How about that? Wasn't necessary for me. That scene should have been cut out, or better if it was established in the beginning of the movie. That would have made much sense. And then the ad placement, for heaven's sake, was out of place. See, movie directors and producers, this for you. There are subtle ways to go about things like this. I'm here to watch a movie, not commercial. Excuse me. So why do you have end credits if you have to keep doing that? You don't have to necessarily infuse that in between film. For me, that was not it at all. That was off. And then the ending was rushed. Why? Like, I don't understand. What happened to Magnus? The last thing we saw was him being handcuffed and taken away. What happened to him? Was he sentenced to death? And did he call out the task force as his accomplice during the investigation? Did he call them out? Were the task guys arrested too? At least we need to see this. We need to know what's up. Unless maybe the movie has a sequel or something, or will have a sequel. Except that, because I really don't understand. I like the fact that some clips from the NSAS movement was used. But then, I need to give us a complete end, a complete story. I talked about the plots and story. Next thing I'm going to talk about is the soundtrack. Well, in this movie, talking about sound, they tried. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give them 7. The fact that they were able to create matching sounds for each scene, every mood, every action was dope. The tone was spectacular. Not an over-the-top kind of thing though, but it was cool knowing that they put that through, given the fact that, or given the track record regular Nollywood movies had with matching sounds or matching scenes with sounds. So for me, that was good. The next thing on the list for me is the cinematography. Cinematography, of course. Okay, so the cinematography was brilliant, was exceptional. The camera angles, talk about the frames, worked pretty well. And the images were crisp and clear. The director indeed brought in a creative element in showcasing Lagos and the streets of Lagos, especially the trenches. So, as you may imagine, shooting in Lagos can be a lot of work. Make we no lie, no be bobo juice. It's a lot of work. So, the neat camera work must have been a lot of work for the cinematographer. It was altogether a thrilling viewing experience for me, and I hope for many others who have seen the movie as well. And I'm sure that the camera guy must have captured the scenes by tilting his head upside down, or maybe it was in a helicopter. Big kudos to the team, big kudos to the camera guy, big kudos to the cinematographer. You guys did a great job. Then the costuming and styling were dope as well. Except, like I said earlier, except the afro, for me, wasn't consistent. If you're going to wear afro, wear it all through. Which one is you wear it to an interview, or you wear it to a show and then you don't, for me, and it wasn't necessary. His style of music just didn't match at all. But besides that, the costume and styling in the movie rather was good. Was okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it 8. Yeah. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is continuity. While watching the movie, when I was watching the movie, I observed an inconsistent flow in some of the shots. For example, I'll give an example. Like I said, sorry guys if I'm giving spoilers, but I'm really trying not to. I just can't do this without giving spoilers. Okay, moving on. For example, when the Taz guys pushed Midday inside the car, it was through the back door. But getting to the destination, I mean the kidnappers den, they dragged him and other guys through the boot. How is that possible? I don't know. I was confused. I was really confused. I couldn't figure it out how that was possible. Then, the second one was when he was hit in the face with a gun before being dragged into the car. There was no blood stain, no. Not even a drop of blood on his face at all. Suddenly, my Naija people, Nollywood, suddenly, getting to the kidnappers den, he has blood stains dripping all over him. How? I don't understand. How is that possible? There's no way. There's no way that came from the hit he got from the gun. No, now. It's not possible. As if that wasn't enough, let me shock you guys. When he was hit the second time with a gun at the waterside, he still has the same amount of blood stain. This time he's even looking pale. Same spot, no bruises on his face. How come? Even if they slap you, the sign must show you. Someone must know that yes, you've been slapped. But the kind of torture that he went through, when he's not a Superman, that was unreal for me. It was not real at all. It killed the authenticity of the movie, of that scene, completely. And then there's this other scene. Hey, the leakage from the roof in Magnus' apartment. That one off me. It really off me. When Ekaite poured the rainwater from the leakage outside, I thought at some point, oh, it must be raining cat and dog outside, or at the least drizzling. My brothers and sisters. But it turned out that outside was dry. Dry like dead leaves. As if that wasn't enough. At least even if it's dry, you assume that the rain stopped, Abi. The ground was dry. It was dry. That was funny. I was like, Kilo Shele Gongo, Lai She multiverse. Was the continuity supervisor, rather director, was he sleeping on set? For him not to notice that? Honestly, that is an unforgivable mistake. As in unforgivable at all. I can't forgive him for that. At all. That was a flop, yeah. Anyways, moving on to what do I like about the movie. I like the cinematography one. I like Kelechi's performance. And also the fact that scenes from the NSAS were used. I love that. What don't I like about the movie? I don't like the continuity was trash. I don't like Mide's performance, especially his expression. And I don't like the fact that the plot was not properly executed or was not properly fleshed out. And anyway, to think that the movie has won several awards, including the best movie in West Africa at the AFVCA. Best movie care. Oh God, I don't think so. I wasn't convinced at all. The movie is not deserving of the award. There are other movies that came out within that period, or during that period rather. I don't know why that should win the best movie in West Africa. If it won the best story, yeah, that would have been, I would have agreed to that. That's acceptable. But best movie in West Africa, no man, no. For me now. Anyways, I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Is this movie a collision of talent, story, and production? Do you think it is? If it is, please do let me know in the comment section. And it's a wrap, guys, on this episode of the watch list. Thanks for watching, and do not forget to click the like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more updates on new episodes. Remember, I am watching.